All right, guys, welcome back. We have lots to talk about today. Xbox news, AI in the industry, layoffs are continuously happening. We have all of that plus other things to get into. But if it is your first time here, and I see many of you who do watch on a daily basis are not subscribed and you like daily gaming news, staying up to date on everything happening within the gaming industry, I would appreciate it if you did hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. If you enjoy the video, share the video around. Really just helps get the channel out there and get more people watching and growing the channel and this community. But with all that said, let's get into the news. So there are more Xbox showcases coming up. We know that before the end of this year, there's the Game Awards, and Xbox generally has a presence there. And then early on in 2026, there is the Developer Direct that they generally do in January. But before all of that, I should say, it looks like a partner preview event is being slated here for November. One of the big focuses that they're going to have at this event is Xbox Play Anywhere, as that's probably going to be continuously pushed out, talked about. More publishers are going to get on board with that, especially with something like the Xbox ROG Ally devices that have just released. The future of the consoles that we are hearing the rumors about with the PC hybrid integration, Xbox Play Anywhere is going to be more and more important for the ecosystem. And to me, right now, it is one of the best features in gaming. And I really hope they continue to expand it out right away. As more games come out, I hope publishers take advantage of this. But we have this here saying that Xbox has a partner preview event slated for November with Xbox Play Anywhere as the headline act. And this again, it comes back like they talk about it right here at the top of the article. Xbox is dead, long live Xbox. I mean, people are still talking about this on a daily basis. The online news cycle towards Xbox, it's absurd at this point. It's actually crazy how it's always dead and then alive day after day. But when it comes to the showcase in November, we have the ID Xbox showcase that occurred actually yesterday, which I will go over. And then after that, it says here, next, we're exclusively revealing via trusted sources that Microsoft has an Xbox partner preview showcase slated for sometime in November, which I understand was recently finalized. And this showcase will focus on third-party titles for Microsoft's publishing partners of all shapes and sizes, and will feature almost entirely, if not actually entirely, Xbox Play Anywhere titles. So that's massive. That is a huge feature that they need to bring more games to. There are right now, if you go look on the Xbox Play Anywhere side of things, there are actually a lot of big titles that are out there right now. Like, for example, I'm playing Final Fantasy 16 on my handheld, and I've played it on my PC, and I've actually played it on my Xbox, all in the span of a single week. And super cool there because I can literally just, my save transfers over to every single device. You think about games like Hogwarts Legacy, which has Xbox Play Anywhere. I played that game back in 2023 on my Xbox Series X. I loaded it up just a couple of weeks ago, I think, when I got that Xbox Play Anywhere integration into it, and my save from 2023 was right there. I know that was the expectation. I don't even know why I was that surprised, because that's how it's always been working with Xbox in this ecosystem. But I was actually very impressed because I hadn't loaded that game up in 2 years at this point, almost more than 2 years, because that, I believe, released in the beginning of 2023. So that part was very cool. And we're going to see more titles like that across the board. Square Enix supports it pretty good. A lot of their games are in there. Some have missed it, but hopefully they continue to bring more to the Xbox Play Anywhere. A lot of indie games support it. And there are lots of titles. You have to go check them out for yourself and see which ones are there. But it needs to grow and it needs to get better. And I'm hoping that that is what the showcase is going to show us, that, yeah, they are investing heavily in this Xbox Play Anywhere side of things, and they're pushing publishers to jump in to that service and to that feature. And we'll see what games that do drop, because we are seeing one pop up here. This is a massive one to drop for Xbox Play Anywhere if you haven't played it yet. And this is Baldur's Gate 3. This is now showing up on dashboards, and I think this is potentially in advance maybe of this partner preview, or this is just going to be announced at some point that it is Xbox Play Anywhere. But you can see here, this is a picture on an Xbox dashboard, Baldur's Gate 3 to receive Xbox Play Anywhere support soon. So this is a perfect game for that. This is a PC game at heart, bringing it over to console as well. you're going to have a great experience jumping between both. So if you haven't played it, or if you have played it and you want to go see how your saves transferred, Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be in there in that service. So that's cool. And that's a big game. I hope that we continue to see more big games get this feature. Like I said, there's lots of indies. There are some big games, but I would love to see the big publishers. Like, it would have been very cool if Borderlands 4 had Xbox Play Anywhere in their game itself. So Xbox is going to have to obviously do work to try to convince these publishers to put their games there, because you sit back and think about it. If you are a publisher, the drawback would be, well, if I put it in Xbox Play Anywhere, would I be losing a potential sale of somebody buying the game twice, especially if there's cross save within that game? Likelihood, I'm not sure what that would be. How many people are actually going out and buying a game twice just because it has cross save, especially at the prices of games these days? I think Xbox Play Anywhere, more than anything, is a purchasing decision for a lot of people. They see that in a game and they go and buy the game on Xbox simply because they get that feature attached to it. So it's very beneficial for Xbox to want to push this on as many publishers as possible. Speaking of showcases, we had the ID at Xbox showcase yesterday. I like them. I'm an indie game fan. I think they have some of the more creative games in the industry, and especially with everything happening with the AAA budgets skyrocketing and ballooning up, indie games are going to be in here to save the day. And we got an ID at Xbox showcase, and the highlights that I like to go over with these showcases are the ones coming to Game Pass, because there's a lot. 12 titles from this showcase are actually dropping into Xbox Game Pass. A lot of cool ones as well. So the first one here is Aphelion. And this is like a sci-fi adventure. They say, hunted on a frozen planet, astronaut Arian must brave rugged landscapes and shifting realities to rescue her wounded partner Thomas. And this action-packed sci-fi adventure blends exploration, traversal, and tense stealth gameplay. Looks very, very cool. You're seeing some of the gameplay here. And it kind of reminds me of the Altars in the aesthetic of it and everything, and in the what the game, how it just basically looks overall. But yeah, you can see it here. Looks like it's going to be a fantastic game. If you like space adventures, you like kind of, I guess, that survival exploration side of things, this may be one to keep your eye on. Coming to Xbox Game Pass when it does drop. Then we have Oasis. And I was actually just taking a look at this one. This one does look pretty cool as well. It is a dungeon brawler with some interesting physics attached to it. 1 to 4 player co-op involved with it. But they say the ultimate dungeon brawler, revolutionary physics fueled throwdown, where you'll jump, slide, and collide on your adventure to restore peace to the Oasis, an ancient floating relic under attack by forces of great darkness. Next up, we have Darkwood 2. I've never played the first one, so if there are people who have played the first one, let me know what you think about this one. But this is like a psychological horror survival game with a over-the-top camera view, which is interesting because I wonder how scary this can be with that style of view. But it reminds me of just horror mixed with stalker vibes and everything, and you can see it here as you're going through and you're trying to survive, and things get obviously worse for you at night. No release date on this one. Still says to be determined. We have DayZ Badlands coming in 2026. They showed off this trailer. Basically, it's just this guy's building up his motorcycle and then heading out into the world. So if you're a DayZ fan, you'll want to look forward to this. Again, no date, coming out in 2026 though. Then we got Dome Keeper. If you like rogue like games where you're protecting tower defense and everything, and then going and building up your base and building a mine, because this is exactly what this is. This game is for you, coming December 9th, 2025. Pixel graphic stuff looks pretty cool. Gives me Ball X Pit style of vibes, which is a phenomenal game if you haven't checked that one out yet on Game Pass. Then we got Egging On. This is hilarious because this is an egg game. You're playing as an egg and you're going and platforming through obstacle courses, trying not to fall so that the egg won't break. And like I said, the indie developers really bring the uniqueness. I don't think anybody was expecting to play as an egg here in 2025. This comes out November 6th, 2025 into Game Pass. We have Monsters Are Coming, Rock and Road, November 20th, 2025. A tower defense. You're building your fortress, you're fortifying, you're upgrading, all of that stuff. If you like those styles of games, you want to see this one. Like I said, November 20th, 2025 for that. Next up, we have a game I'm very excited about, Planet of Lana 2, coming in 2026 onto Game Pass. And I love the first one. Beautiful game, great aesthetics, great storytelling, and fun gameplay. So if you haven't played the first Planet of Lana, I definitely recommend going to check that out. But you'll be able to also play the second one here in 2026. We got Routine here, which is like a first-person sci-fi horror game, and it's in the 80s or the 80s vision of the future, where you're seeing the screen or that looked like an 80s TV, and then you're also seeing just the regular graphics and stuff, but it looks super creepy because you're seeing these robots just pop out at you. You have that feeling that you're going to be lost in space all alone stuff. So this one could be very cool. December 4th, 2025, when that comes out. We have sledding game. This is a sledding game. You're sledding, racing, party game, all that type of stuff here coming in 2026. We got Super Bowl. This one's actually out today. Very reminiscent of Rocket League and Rematch mixed together. Like, this is what Super Bowl, I think, was going for, Rocket League style of game, which these games do very well. You look how good Rocket League is. You see how big Rematch has gotten. And this is available right now. And there's some benefits to Xbox Game Pass members for Super Bowl. Then we got finally here TCG Card Shop Simulator. In an era where we're getting simulator games for everything, we got another one here, Card Shop Simulator. And what is interesting about this, a lot of the character cards in this game look very similar to Pokemon. Not that they are the same. What I worry about is Nintendo going to see this. Are they going to try to sue like they do with every other game? But that is the idea Xbox Showcase. I really thought there's a lot of stuff there. Lots of good games come out from these showcases, and tons drop into Xbox Game Pass. It is basically a showcase where you know you're getting a ton of stuff to play now and in the future. So good showcase there, and you're going to have stuff going forward. Now, we recently got the announcement for Halo campaign Evolved. And one of the things with this, when we were hearing about this in the rumors, I was thinking, I'll play through it because I love Halo, but will there be anything new? And why wouldn't they go ahead and remake Halo 2 or Halo 3? We've already seen Halo CE remade or remastered with the anniversary edition. I've played through the campaign so many times. And then when they showed it off, I was, okay, this looks great in Unreal Engine 5. I'm absolutely going to be playing through it. But is there going to be anything new? And we did get confirmation there will be prequel missions, and we have a bit more info here. It's exactly what those prequel missions will be. And I'm very excited because this is one of the main things here I was looking forward to with this reboot of Halo, with this remake in Unreal Engine 5. What new content are we getting? Will it be worth jumping back into it if you've already played it tons of times, aside from obviously the graphical upgrade and things like that? And we have this interview here. It's a group interview with Halo Studios. Creative director Max Slager noted that they aren't touching the main story or anything like that, which is a very good decision. I don't think anybody would want to see a studio go in there, retell just the classic of Halo campaign Evolved or Halo Combat Evolved, and give a take that would probably piss off a lot of Halo fans. But he says this about the prequel missions. It's about Chief and Johnson. It's a prequel to the original Halo Combat Evolved story. It was really key for us to maintain the original story as it is and to not insert any sort of new story in there. And then goes on here to say it actually takes place in a fairly short timeline in the way that the lore works. And so finding a good place in the lore to tell the story with Chief and Johnson, it's going to have, you know, the new story, new gameplay, weapons, enemies, environments, so a lot of cool stuff there. So I'm pumped. Like, I'm very sold on this from what we have seen. Obviously, we've been hearing that UE5 has its issues and that needs to be worked out, but this game isn't coming till 2026. So I'm confident that they will have that stuff worked out and it will be a good experience when it does launch. But getting prequel missions, a new story, new lore, and all of the new stuff that they're putting in the game with the new graphics and everything all in there, it's, to me, worth it here to go through and play Halo Combat Evolved again, or Halo, the main story again, which Halo is one of my favorite franchises of all time. So I would have ended up playing it either way, regardless. All right. We have a couple of other things to get in here too today. Actually, a decent amount of stories still to go over, but one of the things that we are hearing about is AI, and how AI potentially is having a major impact on everything. It's going to have impact on gaming. It could be the main reason why Xbox has had to make changes in their business model recently to hit their margins and stuff. AI is taking a lot of money and a lot of resources at Microsoft. And as you know, Xbox being under Microsoft, this will have effects on it regardless. And now there's a story here about Microsoft, OpenAI, their partnership, and what is going on with their loss of money here. So it says Microsoft is reportedly trying to keep its dealings with OpenAI under wraps, and it seems to list a $4.7 billion loss under other nets in its latest annual report. So I'm not going to get too far into it, other than this is obviously having effects across the entire company. This could be one of the reasons why Xbox has had to go up and change things. The Actual financials are going to be reported today. We'll see how Xbox is doing. I have a feeling that they are actually going to be doing pretty good. Last quarter, they reported record revenue at Xbox, and I don't know if that's going to be the same or if it's going to be improving, but we'll get a lot more information on just exactly how Xbox is doing, especially after everyone is saying Xbox is out, which is clearly not true, as they are continuously giving us showcases, games going into Game Pass Day 1, talking about the next generation console with the PC hardware. So there's still actually a lot of stuff to be excited for at Xbox, and we will go over in tomorrow's video what the gaming division, how it's doing, how is it, if is it up, is it down, all of that stuff that we will get into when we take a look at those numbers. Layoffs across the industry are non-stop. It's hitting everybody and has continued to hit everybody now for, I'd say, about going 2 years plus on here. Amazon right now is now making major changes and major cutbacks at Amazon Studios. Amazon making significant cuts to the games business, moving away from MMO. In a message to staff reviewed by Bloomberg, the company said it would be eliminating more than 14,000 corporate jobs, many of which affect its game development and publishing business. 14,000 jobs. So it's not just gaming. The entire economy is kind of screwed here with the amount of jobs that are being lost. If you look at tech across the board, it is pretty much hitting everybody. So we will see more job cuts. I wouldn't be shocked if Microsoft and Xbox cut more jobs in the near future because of just everything that is happening. But yeah, this is pretty big, 14,000 corporate jobs. They say specifically the San Diego and Irvine development studios, which are responsible for MMO's New World and the Untitled Lord of the Rings game, have seen significant reductions, according to Steve Boom, the vice president of audio, Twitch, and games, saying, while we're proud of our success in first-party AAA game development and publishing, we have made the difficult decision to halt a significant amount of our first-party AAA game development work, specifically around MMOs within Amazon Game Studios. And this includes making significant role reductions in our studios in Irvine and San Diego, as well as our central publishing team. So unfortunate. It's happening. It's continuing to happen. It's going to continue to happen going forward into next year. AI, we don't really know the full extent as to how this is going to affect gaming and game development. We know Xbox has already said they aren't pushing it on everybody. There was a report that came out that they were, but that was not true. We'll see how it makes games better. I think it can actually have a significant effect on making games more immersive. If you're able to take away some of the monotonous tasks and put resources into things that are better to make games better, like writing and all that stuff and character development, but you're taking away the tasks of just putting background assets everywhere, that could actually be helpful. It also could help with NPCs if you have major living open worlds. But if they're using AI to literally make games from the ground up, then I just think a lot of the art is going to be lost. We won't know the extent of it, but obviously AI is coming in to really help alleviate the rising costs in gaming, and that will end up with job losses. In fact, speaking of AI, EA are forcing AI into a lot of things. Apparently, there is a new report here saying that EA staff are struggling with management, urging them to use AI for just about everything. This is a report that has just recently come out from Business Insider, who spoke to a current member of the EA staff speaking under anonymity, who says company's leadership have spent the past year urging its roughly 15,000 employees to use AI for a wider range of tasks, from making code and concept art to advising managers how to speak to staff about sensitive subjects like pay or promotions. Now, I think using AI to advise people how to speak isn't all really a bad thing. Some people have major issues with that, and AI can actually come in and clean up exactly how you're writing emails, all this stuff. There's actually a lot of good, useful things like that. But for actually the developing of the games, the code and stuff, you will still need humans to verify that stuff, at least at this point. I don't think it's at the point where code is going to be seamless and perfect. They say, according to the report, some staff say that AI tools they are encouraged to use produce flawed code, which I absolutely believe that has to be manually corrected. And others on creative teams worry that because they're expected to train AI software by feeding it their own work, the demand for character artists and level designers will drastically fall, which that is a very reasonable fear to have, because AI is only getting this work from humans. That's how they create everything that they have, from everything it's been fed. If you're being hired there as a character artist and you know that they're going to use you for your character artwork just to fire you later because AI is going to take over, who would in their right mind really want to do that? So that's going to be interesting to see how this is all tackled. And then one former Respawn employee who worked in a senior AQ role says he believes one of the reasons he was among 100 colleagues laid off this past spring is because AI was reviewing and summarizing feedback from playtesters, a job usually done. So this probably means, I think they meant to say QA role there, but anyways, yeah, AI is coming in. A lot of things are going to be affected. A lot of jobs are going to be lost because of this. And in fact, they're even implementing AI into their business and development tools and their business side of things, saying we are integrating artificial intelligence tools and technologies into our business and development processes. And the use of AI might present social and ethical issues that, if not managed appropriately, may result in legal and reputational harm because consumers to lose confidence in our business and brands and negatively impact our financial and operating results. So we'll see what happens. One of the things I will say is that it'll be very hard to decipher what good things AI is doing in gaming and what bad things AI is doing in gaming, because I don't think there will be objective reporting. It'll mainly be only negative, at least right now, until maybe we start to see better examples as to how AI is actually helping games and making them better for the consumer. This is still a very unknown, I think, in a lot of ways for the future of video games. Couple more things here. Battlefield, the Battle Royale, Battlefield RedSec is available now if you want to go download and play it. It is free to play, 100 players with duos and quads. They say there is Levolution. Circle is a near insta-kill, and RedSec is also fully available in Portal, including the entire Fort Linden map. So if you're looking for a new Battle Royale, the Battlefield version that is free for everybody is available here now on all platforms. We'll see how this does take on games like Warzone, take on games like Fortnite. The last time Battlefield tried Battle Royale with like that ring of fire that closed in on you, I forget exactly what it was called. I liked it. I actually thought it was pretty good, but it did not take off. So we'll see if this one will be able to take off. And if you are a Nintendo Switch 2 fan, and you're wondering how Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to look on the platform itself, well, Square Enix here is ready to reassure you that there's nothing to worry about for the Nintendo Switch 2 port. So Final Fantasy Remake Integrate is due to release for the Nintendo Switch 2 in January. And so far what we've seen has been very, very impressive. But when it comes to Rebirth, they have this to say. Obviously, we are working very hard to make sure that the fans are similarly impressed by Rebirth on the Switch and that people are going to get that high quality that they are looking for. I think we have kind of provoked that concept to the world already. In some ways, with the release of Rebirth on Steam Deck, I think we saw a similar kind of reaction there where people said, wow, it's actually running on Steam Deck. It looks really good. It's a quality much higher than I thought they could get on Steam Deck. In that sense, that was where we did the experiments to work out how to get these high-level games into mobile platform. Obviously, there was a bit of difference in the specs and the capacity between the Steam Deck and the Switch 2 and various other handheld game systems, but I think we managed to get such a good result there, and that really did help with the planning and the understanding of how to do things going forward in the series. So he's saying basically not worrying, saying, I think we got a really good response to the first game on PC, and that's really helped us, given us the know-how and the ability to keep that going, reflect on that, maybe even push it further in Rebirth and in the third game in the series going forward. So what I want to say is, because of all the experimentation stuff we've done on the PC to make sure that Nintendo players in the future, you really don't need to worry at all. They're going to get a version that is just as satisfying and just as high quality as the first game, if not higher. So Steam Deck helped. This very much reminds me of the Xbox Series S, stuff that we've heard out of that, although nobody wants to talk ever positively about the Xbox Series S, but because developers had to actually optimize their games for a lower powered console with all these specs to make it actually run properly, they've been able to make games look and run better across the board on other platforms. And I do think the Xbox Series S will help with handhelds in the future and be able to optimize for more of a mobile platform because of the specs from that console versus obviously higher NPCs in the Series X and the PlayStation 5. He does mention that here with the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck helped with the Nintendo Switch 2. The Nintendo Switch 2, to me, from everything I've seen from major AAA games, Star Wars Outlaws, we're going to see Assassin's Creed Shadows on there and Cyberpunk 2077. I think the NVIDIA chip and the DLSS, the sauce in there, is doing a very good job of actually giving you a worthy experience. You have to also take a step back and realize you're playing this on a $450 console, especially if you're playing in the handheld. So you're not expecting anything to be out of this world, but games are fun, games are playable, games are very adequate, and they look pretty good. They actually perform very well on the Switch too. We'll see how long that does continue with AAA games released in the future. But on the video there, if you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you.